So with the introduction, yeah, lots at stake, which is great to have a lot at stake. The last regular season game in November. And that is meaningful. It's not lost on myself or my team, and it's been acknowledged from the beginning of the season all the way till now. And so we're determined and anxious and excited to play. So I'll take questions.
Yeah, I mean, on the note of Hawaii, they kind of revamped the defense a little bit from last year. Some really talented DBs, really talented receivers in the offensive end as well, too. Seasoned quarterback. What are you kind of seeing out of them as a whole?
They're a good football team, especially and distinctly their performance at home and on the island. I notice it on film. And so I think that, man, they're physical defensively. They're really well coached. Their statistics are strong. And offensively, the scheme is a challenge. The receivers are capable. And anyone that goes there is battling like crazy to try to come out with a victory. And we won't be any different. So, yeah, we're preparing, much like any Mountain West game we've played this year, we're preparing for a last possession game with an equal opponent, a league full of parity with a lot on the line.
And we've kind of done the offensive classifications thing and a lot of these pressers and all that too. I mean, are you treating it like a traditional run and shoot, or how are you kind of looking at them?
Yeah, I haven't even named it. And I'm not sure how it's branded, and I really don't pay much attention to any of the marketing other than really capable. And so it's well thought out, it's well designed with capable players and really good coaches. So challenge, I guess, is how I would brand it.
Coach, you just spoke to their offense and the scheme, and how confident are you feeling with the progression of the defense and how you guys mentally and physically are going into this game on that side of the ball?
Yeah, I think the entire team is confident, is optimistic, is determined, but also realistic. And the brutal facts, we acknowledge improvement is happening on our team and on our defense. Improvement has to keep happening on our team and on our defense. And that's every play, every snap, every game. So this is just the next opportunity with more at stake than last week and more at stake than the week before, because we need to win. But I think probably the better way to frame that is we have an opportunity to compete to reach one of our goals. And that's more of what's maybe more relevant, how I would say it.
And in particular, the linebacking core, how their progression, how they've looked going from the 4-down lineman to the 3, how, in particular, Kapai, just how you like in that group?
Same, I would say, in relation to our entire team, growing, progressing, improving. Dimitri Johnson is probably where I would start. I think every game he's played from week 3 till about now, he has improved. He's played significant snaps, consistent, determined. I kind of put it into 3 buckets: durable, consistent, and productive. He's been durable, he's been consistent, and he's been productive. Randolph is becoming that, and there's been games that have been really productive. The consistency can still be worked on. The consistency still can be worked on. But he is improving. And so that unit, like our team, getting better.
So the stakes are very clear, and I wouldn't assume you have to do a lot in terms of motivating for this game, but what has been the messaging?
Yeah, so I'm pretty private about my messaging with the team. However, there's a lot of challenges as you get to postseason play. Bowl games especially, with family members and friends that are coming, and they're actually coming to vacation, right? They're coming to recreate. They're coming for a bowl experience. They're not preparing to play the game. Traveling to Hawaii, and when you leave one day earlier, it's not postseason, but there's elements of that. And so the reality of not addressing those coming to recreate and those coming to vacation, yeah, it's not fair to my players because they are. The game is part of their experience, is why they're going. We're going only for the football game, and we're going only to have success in the football game. And so there's going to be some maybe hard conversations between players and others of our players being the grown-ups. You know, like, no, that's not what I'm here for. And so that's part of a growing, maturing football team, is new scenarios with high stakes and settings that have you manage more of your free time in settings and locations that are usually destinations, which postseason play is part of that.
You've made this trip before. Was that something you kind of, that idea of having to communicate those expectations of we're just going to play a football game and not recreate? Have you had to learn that kind of, start, get that line of communication set up?
Yeah, and I've learned through experience. So again, through all of the postseason experiences, which is basically every year of my career, most of those experiences someone sent home because they're recreating. Hawaii is similar, and in trips to Hawaii, the same thing has happened. Better to address it on the front end and be brutally clear why we're going, what the expectations are. Otherwise, you don't get to go. And I haven't had any issues with this team ever, but in relation to history says, yeah, destination games are challenging. And so here we go.
This late this season, too, you kind of alluded to the idea of needing to continue improvement on both sides of the ball. But where are you trying to see, more defensive improvement, and what areas in particular?
Gosh, there's a lot of areas that are improving. And so we're finishing really strong now defensively. Second half play has been very, very good. Our first half play has drifted a little bit where we're not starting quite as fast. And so it's kind of flipped. And so starting faster is something that I'd like to see happen.
Coach, I know you have one game left. Obviously, the goal is to win the game, go postseason. But has this season, is it what you envisioned when you took over the job? There's a lot of ups and downs, obviously, when you're dealing with young men. But your thoughts on this season up to this point?
It's a great question. I'm not sure I can answer that. I'm not sure I have the words to do that. I anticipated a challenge. I anticipated making a difference. I anticipated having a chance to influence. I anticipated ups and downs, but I also anticipated success and achievement. And I think all of that's happening. And I think I promised that would happen, or I said history would show that it could happen and would happen. I don't think any of us anticipated the timing, but it's gratifying, it's challenging, and it's all I would have hoped it would have been, mostly because of who. And my players they're inspiring. They show up and they work regardless of circumstance, and that's been really fun.
Yeah, I was going to kind of go off that. Just how proud are you of this team, no matter what happens this week? How proud are you for year one and what they've been able to do?
Yeah, I'm proud of this team. I love this team, and one of the coolest things about being a coach is I get to influence and inspire, but I also get inspired from young people having 300 turkeys given out on Thanksgiving with zero influence by me. Organized, done, people, and I'm just like, look at my guys. And so fans are rushing the field 1 minute, and then they're picking up turkeys, the next. It's really cool. And yeah, inspiring.
Yeah, a little bit more on the turkey drive yesterday. When did you kind of catch wind that they were doing that, and just, what was kind of the overall feeling just hearing that they were going to do that?
Yeah, I don't remember when I found out. Richard Pierce, one of our captains, I think a graphic was sent to me. Maybe Summer had sent it, or Richard had sent it, or maybe, I don't remember. So I didn't even know it was happening. But in tracing that, Richard Pierce, one of our captains, organized the event, asked a few of his other O-linemen that were qualified and receiving NIL to donate that money for, turkeys and fixings for those that didn't have or wouldn't have. And that was all organized and done. Delivery, I showed up yesterday to shake their hand to thank them. I had nothing to do with it. But it's just smiled, much like a parent would, right? A coach and parent are similar, so really cool.
In terms of the schedule this week, when do you guys leave for Hawaii, and what does it kind of look like in terms of travel and practice?
One day earlier, so we'll practice Thursday morning early, and then we'll get on our flight, arrive there Thursday afternoonish local time, And so again, because of the bye week, which is really helpful, today is Tuesday. And so, or we're one day ahead, which leaves us less work to do there. When you're playing and when we play postseason, most of our work is done before we ever leave also. And so that's the intent. We'll still do some work there, but most of it will be done before we leave.
Coach, I just want to get your thoughts on the recent hire of the athletic director. What do you think?
Yeah, so not just because he's standing here, but we don't. So Dave Williams, our interim, instrumental in me being at New Mexico, getting on a plane to be in New Mexico, and my family and I being here, and then the athletic director, or Eddie Nunez, leaves, and the department is being held together, and was led in our season with a coach at a new place, working to transform a football program. That's been really meaningful and helpful. And so first, without acknowledging that wouldn't be right. And so Dave's done an excellent job and is appreciated. So then, and here's now a new athletic director coming. And so I'm excited for him, excited for the opportunity that he'll have. And he might be taking the job for the same reasons I am, is to make a difference and an impact. But I can't speak for him. But I'm excited for his opportunity, as any leader taking on a new opportunity.
It's been fun to talk to some of the guys about the Rock tradition and all that, after wins and all that. How have you seen this team in particular kind of embrace that tradition?
It's the same response at a different place. I think anytime you do something significant, it's cool to have a finish or a symbolic moment to gather around, to unify. And so, we were all on the field and cheering, and then you go in the locker room and most expect some speech from the head coach. That's not enough. And sometimes a coach will throw a game ball to someone. And this just puts a definitive mark to start a celebration. And so after the coach says whatever he's going to say, for a player to be recognized who's the real reason or influencer of the game, then they get to lift something heavy with all their might, then swing and explode something. And then a lot of other people erupt because of that. And then that celebration really culminates an entire week's worth or year's worth of work, and gives you a reason to celebrate and connect with. And then there's dancing and antics and things people wouldn't normally do in front of people that they care about, that bonds you in a way that doesn't happen unless there's something symbolic to do. And that part has been really cool. And they view our stadium differently. And when we put the rock out the first day of each week for warm-ups facing them, they're now looking at it different because they know what happens when they're able to break it. And they also know what happens when they're not. Those are two completely different locker rooms.
What do you guys do with the rocks if you don't break them? Great
idea. I don't know. That's a blackjack thing. I don't know if there's a rock recycling center or I don't know. You have to ask him.
Yeah, and also we talked a little bit about it like last week as well. Actually, a lot about it in terms of Devin, and he was winning Associated Press National Player of the Week and all that too. Do you feel that Devin is the best quarterback in the conference?
I don't know about that. I know that our success. So I think I've said it before. I don't think that there's a player in college football doing more for their team than Devin Dampier is doing for our team. And there are some that are more skilled at maybe marketing themselves or others too, for their players. I don't think there's a player in college football doing more for their team than Devin is doing for the University of New Mexico.
Are you expecting to get Kyler, Tyler, Devontae, any of those guys
You're
back?
expecting this answer? I don't know. All right, ready, break. Thank you.